Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination news, newsmakers, talking points, and we have plenty on this power-packed news today, this Wednesday night. Who will be India's next vice president? That question is now blowing in the wind. Has the Dhankar exit already dented the Modi government's image? Also, why is the government so hesitant to debate the controversial Bihar Special Intensive Review in Parliament? Could the RJD boycott the elections? That's the breaking news that we have, plus interviews with Pawan Kalyan, the Deputy Chief Minister of Andhra. We'll also talk about Dharamstala, what that controversy is all about. Lots to talk about on the show tonight. But the story we are breaking at the moment, just months ahead of the Bihar election, the Rashtriya Janata Dal has said it might even consider a poll boycott in Bihar after its objections to the special intensive revision exercise have been ruled out by the Election Commission. Tejaswi Yadav, the leader of the RJD, has said the party can consider a poll boycott. Tejaswi says, we'll go by people's views. Tejaswi has gone on to say, don't hold polls if voter list rigged. Remember, the EC is carrying out a special intensive exercise which they claim is aimed to purify the rolls. More than 50 lakh voters of previous elections may well be excluded because the EC says either they are dead or their names or they are in double names or not resident anymore at the place where they originally voted from. And joining us now on that breaking story is the RJD senior MP Manoj Jha. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Jha. A bit of a flutter being created by your leader Tejaswi Yadav, suggesting that boycotting the elections can also be considered. Are you serious? Is the RJD serious that it will consider boycotting the elections because of the special intensive revision being carried out by the Election Commission?
Rajdeep, don't look at this statement in isolation with what we have conveyed to Election Commission of India and Honorable Supreme Court. If you look at this statement as a standalone statement, bereft of the background, I think that will not do any justice. You know what happened? 24th of June, Honorable Supreme Court said that we want to do this kind of exercise. 25th they started. 2003 we had the similar exercise. Nobody ever complained what happened in 2003. Now, the second point I'm telling you, we went to Honorable Election Commission of India. You know what they told us? That we want all of our decision to be based on consultation with you. They never consulted us. Then we went to Supreme Court. Supreme Court gave a direction that because this exercise is ongoing, please include EPIC voter card, Aadhaar card, and ration card to maximize inclusion and minimize exclusion. But you know what happens? If the Election Commission is adamant on behalf of somebody, on behalf of a political party, I think my Election Commission should not appear as Election Commission of Bangladesh. We have seen what happened in Bangladesh. In that context, Tejaswi ji said that if we are not understood, if the voters of Bihar, not those who have been deleted, are not heard, we might also consider, he said we might also consider the possibility of boycotting.
No, but even Manoj, even suggesting now that you are considering the possibility or you might consider the poll boycott, the Supreme Court is hearing the matter on the 28th. Remember, the Supreme Court didn't say you must include ration card, Aadhaar cards or voter ID card. The Supreme Court said this can be a potential, this can be a potential solution. Let's be very clear, Manoj. The Supreme Court has not made it mandatory. They have suggested it. My limited point, when your leader says we might consider boycott, what is the message going on? That you do not trust the Election Commission. You have lost faith in the Election Commission.
Rajdeep, let me tell you, I was there the whole day when the Supreme Court was hearing. What they said, that we believe that in order to maximize inclusion, you must look at the possibility of looking at these documents. And they listed 3 documents. And Election Commission refused. That should have been your question. Number one.
No, my question to you is, have you lost faith in the Election Commission? Has your leadership lost faith in the Election Commission? Do you believe the Election Commission is not a neutral umpire?
Rajdeep, please pose this question to people of India, voters of India. It's not only about political parties. I think ordinary voters are fast losing faith in the Election Commission. And an Election Commission which had the audacity to tell us in our meeting that this is a new commission. An Election Commission which told us that 2 crore voters which are migrant, they are doubtful voters. I think your presumptions, Election Commission's presumptions, are basically untenable. And in a democracy like ours, if Election Commission behaves like a kind of a body which is dictated by the top 2, I only worry about my democracy, my people, and potential elections.
But I must ask you this in conclusion, Manoj Jha, because you're saying that your worry is that the Election Commission is being dictated by the top 2 in the government. The Commission, in its reply to the Supreme Court, has made it very clear they are not backing down from this strategic intensive revision. They believe that this entire exercise is designed to purify the roles. They are saying this is a role purification exercise. Are you willing to give the Election Commission the benefit of doubt or not?
I cannot. Rajdeep, 2003, you were in the media. I was in my university. Did we hear anything about 2003? That people had complaints? That people had doubts? You know why?
Sir, you've kept a finger on the screen. Your finger is on the screen.
2003 exercise. In fact, it was almost at the same level. But the fact is, in 2003, nobody doubted because the credibility quotient of the Election Commission was high. Today, the credibility quotient of Election Commission is all-time low. I think it's not only a matter of worry for the Election Commission, but for all the people who believe that democracy should have
Will the RJD seriously consider boycotting the election, or is this an empty threat at the moment? Rahul Gandhi says chunav chori kiya ja raha hai. Your leader is saying we may even consider boycotting the election. Are you serious about it, or is this an empty threat?
No, please. No threats are ever empty. And this is not a threat. This is a warning. This is a caution to Election Commission. Please don't act at the behest of a political party or on the direction of 2 people in the government. Don't make an exercise which should have resulted in maximum inclusion as maximum exclusion.
Okay.
If you continue doing that, Indian democracy can shock you and surprise you. And I don't want to say that our Election Commission should not appear as the Election Commission of Bangladesh.
Let me leave it there, Manoj Jha. You've joined me. I know that you were under work pressure, but you've joined me. I appreciate you joining me there. Manoj Kumar Jha on that breaking story at the moment on the RJD chief, Tejaswi Yadav, suggesting that the RJD could even consider boycotting the Bihar elections of November. Okay, let's stay with that story because all of this is shadowing the monsoon session of Parliament, which continued to be disrupted yet again. It began with the opposition demanding first a debate on Operation Sindoor, wanting the Prime Minister to speak. The Prime Minister has taken off for the United Kingdom. Then came the sudden resignation, remember, of Vice President Dhankar, where BJP's silence has sparked all theories. The opposition wants the BJP to come clean on what happened for the Vice President to resign. But now the special revision of electoral rolls in Bihar has become the latest flashpoint. The opposition claims the move is aimed at favouring the BJP ahead of the state elections. Where does all of this leave the entire battle, both in Bihar and in Delhi? Is politics now heading for another confrontation? Take a look.
Another day of monsoon session with no business conducted. Parliamentary proceedings being halted once again as the opposition staged a protest over special intensive revision of the electoral rolls in Bihar. Protests were witnessed both inside and outside the parliament premises. Opposition across party lines put a united front against the government, with the members of parliament alleging it was an attempt by the Election Commission to curb the voting rights and benefit the BJP in elections.
अब इन्होंने क्या किया है कि अब हम बिहार का पूरा सिस्टम नए तरीके से करेंगे, वोटर डिलीट करेंगे और नए तरीके से वोटर लिस्ट लाएंगे। हिंदुस्तान में इलेक्शन चोरी किए जा रहे हैं, ये रियलिटी है हिंदुस्तान की।
However, the exercise has been hailed by the NDA, which insists it is being conducted under the ambit of the Constitution.
अरे प्रभु, ये शिकायत विपक्षी सबसे ज्यादा करता रहा है कि जो मर गए हैं उनका नाम है, जो जीवित है उनका नाम नहीं है, जो व्यक्ति है उसका 2-2 बार नाम है, उसका 3-3 बार नाम है, डुप्लीकेसी ऑफ द वोट। ये सारी शिकायतें विपक्ष निरंतरता में हर चुनाव के बाद करता रहा है।
A similar showdown of the electoral revision was witnessed in Bihar too, with Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and the leader of opposition Tejaswi Yadav sparring in the State Assembly. Tejaswi Yadav questioning the transparency and fairness by the Election Commission in this exercise.
पूरे प्रोसेस पे ही हम लोग जो है सवाल उठा रहे हैं कि आप के जो BLOs हैं वो तो खुद ही साइन करके खुद ही अपलोड कर रहे हैं पूरे प्रोसेस का, तो पारदर्शिता तो पूरे प्रोसेस में ही फॉलो नहीं की गई है। ये केवल अचीवमेंट के तौर पे और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में एक आंकड़ा बताने के लिए कि हमने 96%, 98% जो है कर लिया है, ये केवल उसकी औपचारिकता जो है वो पूरी की जा रही है।
In a quick rebuttal, the Chief Minister Nitish Kumar reminded Tejaswi of the jungle Raj in Bihar when he was a child.
अब बात ही बोल रहा है, अरे काहे के लिए बोल रहे हो? जब उम्र तुम्हारा कम था, तुम्हारे पिताजी 7 साल मंत्री थे।
As the debate rages on over the SIR exercise, whether in the Parliament or in the State Assembly, it is the taxpayers bearing the burden of the stalled business. Bureau Report, India Today.
Some big question. Is this EC voter list revision now going to be completely under the scanner? Could the opposition seriously boycott the Bihar elections? Why is the government wary of a parliament debate on the special intensive revision? Should the EC come out more clearly to allay all fears? These are questions I'll raise in my political face-off at the moment. Ajay Kumar is spokesperson, Congress and former MP. Dr. Ajay Alok, spokesperson, national spokesperson, BJP. We appreciate both of you joining us. I want to come to you, Dr. Ajay Alok. You might have heard Tejaswi Yadav a short while ago saying, I do not rule out, he says, the possibility of boycotting the polls. How do you see it? The opposition is saying they fear the polls will be rigged. More than 50 lakh voters could be struck off the rolls.
Well, it's an immature statement from an immature leader who doesn't understand the root of democracy and the extent of democraticship in this country. Of course, he should have taken some lesson from his father. And Dr. Ajay Kumar was a serving officer then when TN section episode happened in Bihar with Lalu Prasad Yadav. He never said like that. When all the Botal Kajin and all, everything was taken away by station. This was the same election commission then also. And this is now also the same election commission. And by the way, Rajdeep, you must have listened to Mr. Manoj Jha very carefully. He was trying to just get away from this statement. He's trying to rather, what I'll say, put on some...
No, he's saying he fears the Election Commission of India could become the Election Commission of Bangladesh one day. That's what Manoj Jha said. He fears, he said directly that a government of two people is dictating terms to the Election Commission.
That's the last statement he delivered. Before that, in your conversation of 9 minutes, he was saying something else. Why you are just concentrating on the last 10-second statement that it can become an election commission of Bangladesh? Well, I would like to ask Congress party that if tomorrow RJD decides to boycott, I think Congress party should follow the suit. Because it's a very simple thing and a very simple logic. You can't keep on questioning the referee all the time. If you have your intentions very doubtful about the referee, you must not play the match. Where's the doubt about it? If you have doubts about referee, don't play the match. But if Congress party will do so, no, they never will do so. Because if RJD once and for all, which is never going to happen, let me tell you, it is never going to happen with Lalu Prasad at the helm of the affairs. They will never give a green field to Congress because Congress will capsize it like anything. If RJD decides to boycott, they will say, okay, we are with you. And in the last moment, Congress will fight all the nomination and grab all the votes what RJD has.
Can I get in Ajay Kumar on that? Ajay Kumar, do you support the idea that Tejaswi Yadav has floated that if the Election Commission cannot satisfy them with their attempt at purifying the rolls, they could consider boycotting the polls? Is that a statement that should have been made, or is it an immature statement as the BJP is calling it?
No, I think the problem what's happening with the Bharatiya Janata Party is looking at a single election victory and not bother about what happens to the democracy and polity of this country. If a leader of the opposition and senior leaders in the opposition are even voicing this, you're actually getting close to what Bangladesh is. This is what happened with the BMP and with the Bangladesh government 10 years back. Exactly. You see, people are not able to see the writing on the wall. Exactly 10 years back, when repeatedly the debates on Bangladesh and Manoj Jha, to take his example, we keep saying that India is a Vishwaguru. Our institutions are perfect. I would beg to differ. Whether it is the police institution, whether it's the governance institution, whether it's the PWD, whether the bridges, what are we saying? That this great election commission, because some IAS officers have been there, it was being run well. It's in a constitutional post. We should...
No, but why not at least allow Dr. Ajay Kumar the exercise to be complete? In any case, the matter is before the Supreme Court. Is with your protests in Parliament, with your protests outside Parliament, are you preempting the entire process? Let the SIR get complete, and then if you find that it is flawed, provide all the evidence and make sure that the Supreme Court gives you a verdict in your favor. Or have you lost faith even in the Supreme Court?
No. Rashtriya, you need to... What is troubling us? People, 2 crore people from Bihar struggling to get back. Their own JDU MP is saying, Dr. Ajay Alok should ask the JDU MP in Parliament, what is Mr. Yadav's issue? Why is he saying the same thing? The whole state of Bihar is in turmoil. Names are being slashed off. 50 lakhs, they are saying. Nobody's answering it. Bharatiya Janata Party is the only people replying to questions we raise on EC. The BJP only answers. EC doesn't answer. But the most important thing is this an important issue or not? First question, Rajdeep, it is important. If it is an important issue, we under Rule 377 in the Parliament have the right to bring it to the Speaker's attention that there is a matter of urgent national importance. Discuss that. There is no voting on that, on Article 377 of the one second. I'll just finish in 5 seconds. Why can't you have a discussion? What is the issue of having a discussion under
I
Rule
take your point.
377?
I take your point, Dr. Ajay Kumar, which I think Ajay Alok you should answer. Why not a discussion? Parliament is the forum for debate. If the opposition wants a discussion on this special intensive review, why not have the debate? Why is the government reluctant to have debates on any contentious issues?
First of all, Rajdeep, Dr. Ajay Kumar should understand, and Congress party should understand that this is not a Gandhi family country. This is a country run by the Constitution. And the Constitution, according to Article 324 and 326, gives the Election Commission right to conduct all these exercises. And government is no one to answer on behalf of Election Commission in the Parliament, especially when the case is sub judice and it is being reviewed by the Supreme Court. And when the next hearing is scheduled for 28th of July. Our opposition is not responsible enough to understand this, that when Supreme Court is going to review everything on 28th of July, and Election Commission has already filed an affidavit, why there is a need to create a ruckus in the Parliament, just on the pretext of SIR?
Okay.
You
Ajay Kumar, you want to
already
respond? You want to respond to that there is also the sense that the opposition is perhaps using the platform of Parliament to try and corner the government when the issue is actually before the Supreme Court and within the purview of the EC. Wait for the Supreme Court is what the government is saying. Let's hear what the Supreme Court has to say on the 28th.
No. So this is becoming with due respect to Ajay, this is the theater of the absurd. Why can't we raise issues in the Parliament? Now, taken an example that ED and the misuse of ED and CBI happening in the Supreme Court, you'll not raise it in the Parliament. I mean, what kind of discussion is this? That you can't raise issues in the Parliament is the highest forum in which you have to discuss issues, whether it's in Supreme Court or not, that doesn't matter, the first point. The second point is, why is the BJP answering on behalf of the EC, which Ajay has not answered it? Because every question we have asked, only BJP is defending this whole exercise. JDU is not defending. The third and most important thing, your channel, every channel across India, YouTubers, Hindi newspapers like Dainik Bhaskar or the Indian Express in English, and lots of YouTubers have put some very, very pertinent questions to the Election Commission. I remember, Rajdeep, with 30 seconds, that there was a time when the press would raise issues and it would reverberate and echo in the corridors of power in the Parliament. I remember Sainath saying that is the power of Mr. Sainath saying that's the power of journalism. When you guys used to raise 10 years back questions, it would be seriously considered. Today we are in New India, where nobody wants to report, and the few who honestly report, who honestly report, there's no discussion in the Parliament.
Okay,
Parliament
final word, Ajay Alok, final word. I come back to it. If the government is going to defend the EC on TV shows, defend them in Parliament also. If Ajay Kumar and Ajay Alok can have a debate on my TV show, why can't you have the same debate in Parliament?
We are not here defending the EC. The Bharatiya Janata Party and NDA is not defending EC. EC is sufficient enough for themselves to defend themselves, and they are doing so in the court. Today also at 5 p.m. they have issued a press release, which Congress party unfortunately has not read, citing all the reasons. What we are doing is absolutely constitutionally legal. What we are saying, what is the harm? Let me ask you one thing. This SIP, Manoj Jha said that it happened in 2003. Nobody questioned. He conveniently forget. There was a rally taken out in Gandhi Maidan against this SIR in 2003 by none other than Lalu Prasad Yadav, Rajdeep, if you remember. It was just after the Lathi rally to just oppose this movement. When he was running the government in Bihar, he opposed that. And he took out a rally, Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav. And in the result, in 2004, UPA won. How come?
Okay.
They have already against all these kind of constitutional things. It has been a matter of real good thing.
I'm going to leave it there.
Just give me 10 seconds. 10 seconds. Just 10 seconds. If at all dead people names are being removed, what's the problem, Mr. Ajay Kumar? If a voter is duplicated or triplicated, his name is being removed. What is your problem? If a voter who is not there at the current present address, his name is being deleted from the list,
Let me give Ajay Kumar 15 seconds to respond to that and then I'll move on. Ajay Kumar, respond. What is your specific objection to this entire exercise? Very quickly. 15 seconds.
Because you want to make it the election commission is becoming the election department of the BJP. You did this.
No, you don't have an answer for it.
One sec, Ajay, I didn't interrupt you. We did this during the Lok Sabha election. When you did this whole exercise in Lok Sabha election, again you want to do it. Why are you doing it? You're doing it.
We are no one to do this. Election commission decides.
I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave it there. You see, we will have a wider round table on this issue, but clearly the least you would expect is these issues which are urgent and national importance would be debated in our parliament. That's where is the ideal forum, not necessarily TV shows like ours. To Ajay Alok and Ajay Kumar, appreciate your joining us. Now, what is the ground situation? Because remember, the Election Commission claims it has found as many as 7 lakh electors who have been enrolled in 2 places. Kishanganj, which is a border area of Bihar, has come under particular scrutiny. Many voters are now seen there as suspects. It has a large Muslim population and there are those who are claiming that Muslims are being targeted in this exercise. My colleague Shreya Chatterjee has been on the ground to investigate. Take a look at her report.
In Bihar, Simachal, citizenship isn't being decided by a court, but by a form. And in Kishanganj, India's most controversial voter list cleanup is underway. This is a region where Muslims form 68% of the population. It borders Nepal to the north and is long alleged to host infiltrators from Bangladesh. India Today spent a week on the ground tracking what locals call the suspect list. What we found was alarming. Forms are being held back. Some residents are under quiet investigation.
दूसरा है born in India, ये अलग है.
In multiple suspect wards, India Today met individuals who had only an Aadhaar or a voter ID and no family or land records.
तो वोटर आधार कब बने थे? वोटर आधार तो मेला में आलो बना जब फर्स्ट आधार है तो ये 2011 वोटर मोटर 5 साल वोटर बने हाँ ये दूसरा सारा तो कोनो डॉक्यूमेंट नहीं तुम्हारे पास उससे पहले क्या हम नहीं करते.
When asked where he came from, he couldn't give a plausible answer.
मतलब कहाँ था वो हमको भी पता नहीं. ये बाप दादा मतलब कहाँ था वो हमको भी पता नहीं है, लेकिन हम लोग का जन्म यहाँ का है. আর আধার কার্ড বানলো কবে? আধার কার্ড বানলো তো लगभग 10 বছর। কাল যদি এসে বলে যে তোমার প্রমাণ কি, তুমি কি করে আধার বানিয়েছিলে, তুমি যদি এই জবাব দাও তাহলে তো তোমাকে হেনস্থা করবে। ওই কি বলবো, আমার কাছে याद नहीं तो কি বলবো, কোনো प्रूफ नहीं तो हमारे याद।
सर यहाँ पे कितने लोग हैं या फिर कितने, शायद आप क्वांटिफाई नहीं कर पाएंगे, लोग आपको दिख रहे हैं जिनके पास सिर्फ आधार और वोटर है, बाकी डॉक्यूमेंट्स उनके पास नहीं है, मुसीबत का शिकार हो रहे हैं?
ऐसे तो बहुत सारे होंगे। गांव में लगभग ये तो 4-5 वार्ड मिला के गांव है, ये बैरबन्ना गांव कहा जाता है। 50% लोगों के पास ये वोटर आधार के अलावा कोई प्रूफ नहीं है, जो हम लोग जमा करने के लिए असमर्थ हैं।
This is how voters are being segregated. Category 1. If your name is in the 2003 voter list, you're cleared without any additional documents. There is no suspicion. Category 2. If your parents' name were in the 2003 list, you need to submit proof of parentage. Again, no inherent suspicion. Category 3. If neither you nor your parents were on the 2003 voter list, every document you submit is put through intense scrutiny. Then you're under high suspicion. India Today met the block statistical officer, a key coordinator in the revision drive, to understand the process. When we ask him about how they are identifying, this is what he says.
अभी जो हम लोग निर्देश दिया हमारे वीडियो साहब, तो कुछ बूथ को कलेक्ट किया, कुछ बूथ को चिन्हित किया, तो उनमें से हमारे यहाँ का भी 3 बूथ चिन्हित है, हमारे यहाँ का भी 3 बूथ चिन्हित है, 14, 15, 16।
Sher-Shah-Bari Muslims, a Bengali dialect-speaking community, have been living across Kishanganj, Katihar, Purnia and Malda. Originally settled during the Sur dynasty rule under Sher Shah Suri, Magh, then migrated during British India. Their dialect and migration history now work against them, with their settlements overlapping in Bengal, Bihar, Bangladesh across the Indo-Gangetic plain. Their migration was most always defined by the changing river's course. But due to a Bengali dialect which is not a norm in Bihar, locals, even other Muslims, known as Surjapuri, label them Bangladeshi. Most refused to speak, but one Sher-Shah-Bari elder who had only an Aadhaar and a voter ID did.
हम लोग को बोलता है कि ये लोग बांग्लादेश से आके बैठ गया है, इस तरीके से कहीं कागज वगज लेकर जाते हैं तो डॉक्यूमेंट देते हैं, वहाँ का वोटर कार्ड या ट्रांसफर नहीं मानता है, बोला नहीं होगा। पावा तो जाए ना, माने बन হয়ে গেছে, বানাইতে
না সে আমরা বুঝেছি, কিন্তু নাম কেটে গেলে মুশকিল, এখন অনেক সমস্যা।
A quiet cleansing, one form at a time, one family at a time. In Kishanganj, citizenship is now on probation. And as Bihar nears election, EC sources tell us they have identified Bangladeshis, Nepalis and Rohingyas. Removal may follow. As more states roll out SIR, India today remains at the front line of India's most complex, most contentious, silent identity test. With Shreya Chatterjee in Kishanganj, Bureau Report, India Today.
That ground report from Kishanganj. Let me turn to another piece of breaking news that's coming in at the moment over the Vice President elections. Sources now telling India Today the opposition will field a joint candidate in the contest for Vice President. Sources saying opposition will not give the government a walkover after Jagdeep Dhankhar's dramatic resignation. Meanwhile, the BJP, according to sources, has decided that they will decide on their candidate only after the Prime Minister returns. The Election Commission is expected to initiate the VP poll process later this week. Moshbi Singh joins me for a quick update on that. Moshbi, the numbers are stacked heavily in favor of the BJP again and its allies. The opposition still wants to put up a joint candidate. What will the opposition gain from it? Okay, Moshbi Singh, why is the opposition deciding to go ahead with a joint candidate when they don't know that they have when they know they don't have the numbers? Is this purely a symbolic fight? Okay, we were trying to get through to Moshbi Singh. We'll try and... Yes, Moshbi, go ahead.
So clearly, Rajdeep, you know, ever since the entire resignation bombshell, actually political bombshell fell, after that there's been a lot of buzz, and it is now clear that there would be elections held for the post of the Vice President, and our sources confirmed to us that the opposition wants to make this a battle of ideology. They are very clear that they will, the Congress is very clear that they will be pitching a candidate against the government's candidate, and also not only the India bloc, they will try to take other opposition parties, like-minded parties on board to make sure that they get the government on the mat on this one.
Okay, we'll wait and see who that candidate is, but for now it's likely to be a contest sometime next month. Meanwhile, the Dhankar resignation mystery is deepening. Remember, the former Vice President had cited health concerns as the reason for his sudden resignation. But now, India Today's Ankit Kumar is busting the health story. The social media posts of Mr. Dhankar's office tell a very different story. That over the last 2 months, Mr. Dhankar has been crisscrossing the country and holding several meetings. Take a look at what Ankit Kumar found out is the reality of the health issue raised over the Vice President.
our social media sometimes tell a story that we did not intend to. Since the surprise resignation of Vice President, rumor mills are running hot. All kind of theories, angles, claims are being put out. Now consider this, for example. The Vice President's office does a very dutiful work of collecting all his public engagements, his speeches, meetings, and puts it out on Vice President's social media. Now here at India Today, what we did was, we aggregated, collected all those posts put together by the Vice President's office to get an idea of how his calendar looked like in the days and weeks leading to his surprise exit. Now sample this. Starting May 20, until his surprise resignation on July 20, in just 2 months, there are at least 53 public engagements that were publicized by Vice President's office. These includes travel to states like Goa, Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh. This also includes July 10 event in New Delhi, where he now famously said that he will retire in August 2027. Now all these show at least 2 breaks between June 7 and June 12, and there is a 5-day break between June 13 and June 16. What it does show is the calendar of a man who is definitely not slowing down. 53 events, public events at least, in 2 months is not a sign of a person who is looking to slow down. What it does is, it raises more questions than answers. If not health, then what was the reason behind Vice President's surprise exit?
Interesting there what social media posts reveal. Up next is our exclusive tonight. Pawan Kalyan, the Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister and superstar, is someone who speaks his mind. My colleague Akshita Nandgopal and I have caught up with him on several contentious issues. That's on the other side. You're watching the News Today. News without the noise. Okay, let's turn to tonight's exclusive. Now, Andhra Pradesh's Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan is also known as the Power Star and is coming up with his latest movie, which incidentally portrays the Mughal ruler Aurangzeb once again as a villain. Pawan Kalyan has been speaking on his movie, also on why he believes Hindi should be a linked language, and also on his newfound reputation as a Hindutva hero. How did someone who once admired Fidel Castro and Che Guevara now become a Narendra Modi fanboy? Take a look at all the contentious issues that are swirling around the Andhra Deputy Chief Minister. My colleague Akshita Nandgopal and I caught up with him. Take a look. Thanks for watching. Pawan Kalyan, thank you very much for joining us on India Today. You're joining us when you're not just Deputy Chief Minister, but you're also releasing a new movie, Harihara Veera Mallu, your new Telugu film. So I want to ask you, which role are you more comfortable in? The power star of cinema or the Hindutva hero of politics of Andhra Pradesh? Which is the real Pawan Kalyan? Hindutva hero or power star or both?
I don't consider myself either as a Hindutva hero or as a power star. What I do is whatever comes on my way, I try to give my best. As an actor, I'm comfortable. As a leader, I'm comfortable. As a Deputy Chief Minister, I'm comfortable. Whatever that particular situation demands out of me, I give my 100% to it. So I'm comfortable in, I don't know about the Hindutva concept of it. I never looked at it as a Hindutva concept alone. I feel whatever is some kind of imbalance is there, when I address it, maybe people might be perceiving it as a Hindutva icon, but actually I feel I'm doing what is needed to be done.
The reason I think that's important in a way to understand Pawan Kalyan, the biggest Hindi blockbuster of 2025 is Chhawa, where again it's Chhatrapati Shambhaji Maharaj versus Aurangzeb. Now you're making a film where again Aurangzeb is the antagonist. Yeah. It almost seems as if whether Hindi cinema or Telugu cinema, making Aurangzeb or the Mughals the villains is the way to box office success. I saw a quote of yours where you said, why should the Mughals be shown only as great rulers, whether Akbar or any other ruler? They resorted to a lot of suffering. So is there a conscious attempt to paint the Mughals as the antagonists to attract box office? And this is where your role as a Hindutva hero in real life is merging with what you're showing on real life.
Not necessarily. Maybe it is, frankly speaking, it is a bit coincidental. I never planned a period film. This is a story not written by me, or I'm just an actor. And this film had been, this plot had been conceived by the original scriptwriter and the director, Mr. Krish, who came in 2018, I think, around 2018. Then he toyed with that idea, and it took him some time to start the film. I think it started around 4 to 5 years back, where even whatever was saying, where a lot of films are coming out where Aurangzeb is being projected as an antagonist. But we started quite early, and even we didn't even have a kind of BJP alliance, as I had said earlier. It has got nothing to do, but the story, when it started, it is more about Kohinoor. Kohinoor originated from Krishna Basin, mines of diamond mines of Krishna, which is situated in Andhra Pradesh. So it is more of a retrieval of Kohinoor from Peacock Throne. So incidentally, around that time where Aurangzeb had ascended the throne. So in that way, if you had to look at it, it is not because of my firm stand on certain Hindutva-related issues. Yeah.
But what is your stand? Is your stand that we need to look at the Mughals more objectively? Is that your stand? That therefore we should look at the darker side of the Mughals?
Definitely,
because now even NCRT textbooks are trying to project what they call a more objective
Definitely, because Mr. Rajdeep, I would like to share this with you. When we were in school, we had been taught about the glory of Mughals, what they had done. Definitely, they said they had projected the pious side of the religious side of Aurangzeb, and he now used to. The best side of Aurangzeb had been portrayed in our school syllabus when we were in school. But parallelly, if we go back to our homes and all, we used to read a lot of literature. Especially, I don't know about Hindi, but I can say Mr. Prasad, who is a historical writer. And we used to read all his novels and all his books and historical depiction, historical characters, whatever, the historical novels. And there we could see another side of Mughals, and also the lot of South Indian dynasties or other dynasties of India he had written a lot about it. So my question at that, during school, not just for me, for my entire class of group of people, we used to discuss how come this is not being reflected in the syllabus. So it is not out of today, because of it happened today, not in NCRT had introduced. It's not about that. It is about the general feeling, when we are growing up in school, growing to school in 80s. I think that's what we all had faced, and maybe we grew up, everyone had a role to play. I became an actor and also became a leader. I think all this merged into one, but nevertheless, it just didn't happen because of the recent developments. No, it is always there.
Right.
Because they constantly talk about the glory of Mughals, the good side of Mughals, good side of Aurangzeb, but they had never shown the negative aspect, the dark aspect of Mughal. I think if you want to say anything in an objective manner, I think they could have presented in school books or syllabus, they could have presented both good and bad, but they conveniently, his jizya, for example, his jizya. For being a Hindu, you have to pay a tax. And it was just a simple line. There's nothing else been elaborated on that. And constantly, but they're elaborating good things about him, positive things about him, how he never used to take money, he used to write books, write Quran, and I think he used to stitch some topis, something like that. I think, why didn't they do it? So this was our question. I think this film looks at his darker side too.
Okay, so you're saying cover both sides, ensure everything is known of the Mughals era, of the Mughal dynasty. Pawan Kalyan Garu, also when we talk of this particular issue, I think another one that comes up is the language debate, which has been playing out for the last many years, that you dived into head first recently as well. What do you think? Do you think Hindi should be our national language? Is that what you're pitching for?
Frankly speaking, when I was in school, Hindi is a second language to all of us. Today I'm able to read and write Hindi only because I learned it in school. I don't know suddenly why it became a big issue in recent times, even in Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh shares borders with Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh shares border with Orissa, and Karnataka, we share borders with Tamil Nadu, we share borders with Orissa, and Telangana, of course, recently. And I don't know why we have to make a language issue as a big debate. If Telangana itself is mixed with Urdu mixed Telugu, instead of you saying Aspatal, you call it as Davakhana. So what is so wrong? And even in Telangana, certain leaders are antagonizing Hindi. It's a quite surprising thing for me, surprising element to me, if I look at it. I don't know why everyone is sparking this language debate. I feel it is more than the Hindi itself. I think it is, maybe they don't like, because the hatred towards BJP or the hatred towards Modi ji should not get diverted to Hindi language. I think that's how I frame it.
The
because Hindi is very, very essential, not just Hindi, all the language.
No, the allegation constantly is that Hindi is being imposed by a certain political party, and your political detractors, to counter what you've said on Hindi, have raised what you've said years ago when you said to North Indian politicians, you know, don't bring your language, don't impose it on us.
No. I still stand by the same, because a language should be learned with a passion. No one has taught me English by force. They created a necessity to learn English. I didn't learn. Today we are speaking in English not because of that we love English, because it has because of English rule or colonial rule, it became a necessity. In the same way, Hindi is also a necessity for me. Today I'm able to speak Tamil is because of it is. I love it, and it is a necessary way of a language to communicate, especially when I'm doing films. As I grew up in Chennai also. And so vice versa, if I go to Karnataka, that's what I try to speak. If I go to Maharashtra, I try to pick up a few lines of Marathi. I think that's what we all should understand. A multilinguistic approach or perspective is needed to each and every citizen of this nation. I think it is good for the linguistic integration and cultural integration. I firmly believe in it.
Pawan Kalyan Garu, what are the ideology and ideals of the Janasena? 5 years ago or 6 years ago, you said Che Guevara and Fidel Castro were your heroes. You once told me Jai Prakash Narayan was your hero, but you seem broadly very leftist just 6-7 years ago. Today your hero is Narendra Modi. You have shifted from Che Guevara and Castro. You have shifted from Che Guevara to Narendra Modi.
Rajdeep ji. No, I like the way you frame your questions, and I love the way you speak, you conduct. But let me be very frank with you. Even now I like Che Guevara. I love him, I respect him, and even sometimes when I used to go to America, certain people say, you like Che Guevara. You know, we Americans, we don't, you know how much we like him in the way, in a sarcastic way. For me, I look at Che Guevara because let me tell you about my background. You have to understand where I come from. Suddenly, because I became an actor, suddenly I started a political party. I'm not saying this. I grew entire southern part of India, especially Andhra Pradesh or certain part, not even Tamil Nadu, especially Andhra and Telangana, is very much, no matter whether they're left parties or so-called democratic parties, there is a left leaning in the political ideological framework in each and every party. And my father was a member of a combined communist party before it got split into CPI and CPM, and including my uncle and one of my maternal uncles also. My mother's maternal uncle also. He used to head a small district unit as a CPI secretary or something for some kind of workers' union. For me, it is not. I grew up with a left-wing thought ideology, socialistic ideology rather, I can say, not even left, but I can say socialistic ideology. We used to get a lot of so literature from Soviet land, like we can say Soviet land and all these things. We respect that. Equality for all, justice for all is what everyone strives for. But at the same time, my father is also a great devotee of Lord Rama. So we can't say a man who is seeking social justice or who stands for social justice does not mean that he has to keep, he not necessarily has to be an atheist. He could be a believer, he could be a great devotee, and also he can propagate the ideology of social justice. I think that's where my background comes from, my cultural background. So I see social justice and devotion both go hand in hand in our families, and more or less if you look at the entire Andhra Pradesh, even hardcore communist leaders had become devotees in their later years, including the late Gaddar also. Hopefully enjoy it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Rajdeep ji. Thank you, Jai.
Pawan Kalyan.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.